guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the template in InDesign. The first thing you want to do is download the folder and open the InDesign PDF instructions. And in this template you'll find the basic instructions to refer back to as you're customizing your template. But in this tutorial I'm going to kind of walk you through it for those visual learners and maybe a little bit more in depth than what's in the PDF. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is open this PDF and go to the fonts. And then you're going to want to click on these links and make sure all of these fonts are downloaded before you open the InDesign document. So go do that first, and when that's done, then we are going to figure out which version of the document to open. So INDD is for those who have Creative Cloud, and IDML is for those with InDesign CS4 and later. So if you have the older versions, try the IDML, and if you have Creative Cloud, try the INDD. Once that opens, it should look something like this. And since all of your fonts are installed, you shouldn't have any errors down here. It should look something like this. So the first thing we're going to do in the template is I'm going to show you how to change the master pages. Basically, a master page is something that shows up on every single page. So every one of these pages has this footer in it. The footer has the website URL and page numbers. And so to change that throughout the document, the first thing you're going to do is click Pages over here, and you're going to double click a master, and here you will see this. And so everything that is updated here will be consistent throughout the document. So I'm going to change that, and then this is set to automate the page numbers, so you don't have to change this. That should be okay. And you're going to click back into the first page, and then from here you're going to want to decide which cover page you're going to want to use. There are 5 different options, and so for the sake of example, let's just say we're going to use this one, and so we're going to delete this one. And to delete a page, you can just click on it, and then you'll see it highlighted over here in the Pages panel, and then you're going to click the trash can right here, and then click OK. So that page is gone, and then you can delete this one, and this one, and this one. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to show you how to upload images. And you're going to click the image box. I have the image boxes set to this gray color. So when you see them with the X in it, that means an image is supposed to go here. So you click on the image box and you go to File and then Place. Now let's see what images I have. Okay, so for the sake of example, let's just use this image. So the image fills the box, and then you can double click it and kind of resize the image to fit the box how you would like. So that is how you upload images. We're going to do it one more time here. File, Place, Downloads. Let's just put this image there. Okay, so now you should know how to download images, and now I'm going to show you the different shortcuts that you can use. Let's see. In the document, I give you a list of some shortcuts and how to find and replace. So to do this, you're going to go Command F, and then you're going to click the Find What box, or in the Find What box you're going to answer, I'm sorry, I can't talk. In the Find What box you're going to put what needs to be changed. So these are some of the things that can be changed in one quick swoop, and so you're going to find and replace name here. So let's just do that for an example. So Command F, and find what is name here. change to, let's just say, Morgan Brewer. And then you're gonna click change all. And it says 7 replacements were made. So click done. And then you will see throughout the doc where it said name here, it now says Morgan Brewer instead of name here. So that just saves you a little bit of time. See name here. That just saves you a little bit of time so you don't have to update it on everything. And there is a checklist included in the document of things that you can do that with. So yeah, that's how you do that. The next thing we're going to do is change colors. So up here, you will find your color palette. And for this template, I kept it pretty neutral. As you can see, I have gray, charcoal, and cream. And then these are the automatic colors that are included. But if you would like to create your own color palette, you just add new swatch, and then you can double click and you can rename it here, and then you can put in the code here, or you can adjust like this, and click OK. And then as you can see, it's added to here. And then you can upload it to your brand and just delete kind of my old ones, so that your color swatches are custom to your brand. As far as changing fonts goes, all these fonts of course are included and they look good in the template, so you are free to use them. However, if you have branding fonts, you can update those in the paragraph styles. So you will see the different types that I used. But to upload or to update them to a new font, let's just do this for example. So we're going to update it to Laura. And to make it consistent throughout the document, basically what you would do is you click on it and then redefine style. And then so throughout the document, everything that has that would be updated to Laura. If that was too quick for you, there is instructions in the PDF that kind of break it down into steps. For the table of contents, this is pretty easy actually. I created a rule so that when you add, it adds the line for you. So you just would put it here, and here, item, and then this is a separate text box, so you click into it. Like this. If you get this plus at any point, it just means there's overflowing text, and so what you do for that is you just adjust the little arrows like that, so that it fits all the text, so that you have no errors. So here I just put page whatever, page 19, page 19, and then you can select all of this and adjust it as you need to. You might have seen that I adjusted the layers and I brought this to the front. If at any time you're having trouble clicking on something, or if an element is behind another element, then you can just click on it and go to Option, Arrange, and then you can send it to the back or bring it to the front. So that's what I did here. I just brought this to the front so that I could click on this. On all of the pages, on the bottom left corner, there is the page name, and so I already did that, so you shouldn't have to change that too much. But if you change any of your page titles, then you can just go in here and update that. The next thing is the welcome page, and just like everything else, you just click into it and update it. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to place your logo, you place that just like you place an image. So I actually have it as a text box now, so you could just put the name of your business like this. Or if you wanted to place a logo, you would delete that and go to File, Place. I'm not sure where my logo is right now, but you would just file and place it just like an image and it would go right here. Another note for that is if you want it to be super sharp, then you can use the EPS version of your logo. I oftentimes use PNGs and I don't have trouble with it. However, I have seen people that have had trouble using PNGs. And so if you use a PNG and it looks fuzzy or like it's not sharp, then try using an EPS file for your logos and for your graphic elements. Another thing that you can do is if things display fuzzy or if your pictures aren't looking all the way sharp, then you can go to View and Display Performance and make sure High Quality Display is checked. And sometimes things just compress in InDesign, but then when you save them, they're fine. It's just something I've noticed. And then here is a philosophy page. You just update your text as needed. I use lorem ipsum on all of these pages for now, but you would just double click in here and write whatever you want. And then you can adjust if it's centered or if it's left aligned or if it spans throughout the entire thing, depending on what you want. Here you can put a little tagline or a phrase or a quote or just something to make it a little bit fun. Here is a Meet the Team page. One of the things I want to do is just encourage you to make this your own. So like for me, I don't actually use the Meet the Team page because I have a small team and yeah, I've decided not to use it. And so what you do is you click the page over here and you click delete selected pages and the page will go away. Now similarly, if you want to duplicate this page, say you have a big team, you would just double click in here, or left click I guess, and then duplicate spread. And then it'll bring the page all the way to the bottom, but if you want to move it back up to where it was, you can just kind of drag it up like this. Yeah. And then if you have a different size team, you could always kind of make this your own. So say you have 3 people on your team, you could kind of center this. You could make these a little bit longer and center these under them. Something that's really helpful is the kind of alignment tool. So say I want to make sure all these are centered, you would just select this all and go up here and click the center justify. And there's also left and right justify tools too that you can use. But for this being centered, I would do it like that. Let's see if there's anything different. So for features, you can either, this is what I choose to do, I just update my features here because it keeps it nice and minimal, and I like how it looks. However, you can place the logos of the places you've been featured in here, and then you can also adjust these. So just say you've been featured by more places than 4, you can kind of adjust these to fit. You'd obviously want to kind of like evenly space them and make sure that that's all correct. But another thing you can do is say you've only been featured 2 places. You take these out and then do something like this. So again, it's just kind of the easy customizations and making sure things are aligned. This I have to kind of feature a testimonial or maybe somewhere where you're featured. It's just another way to establish trust with your potential client, and you can put that there. These I have different project names, and so I typically showcase 3 different projects in my template just because I feel like that's a good number that gives them a good idea of my work but also doesn't overwhelm. I find that this is really nice because I picked the 3 projects that I'm like most excited about and I feel like are most in line with what they might want. And that helps them start to kind of envision what their project might look like. In this text box, I would recommend putting a testimonial from the project if you have it, just as another way to establish trust. If you don't have it, then you could share a little bit about the project or about the headspace behind it, or something like that. Here you can put a category. So for me, it would be branding projects. If you're a photographer, maybe it's engagements. And here you can put the couple names, so Jim and Pam or something like that. And then you can put date or location here, or a lot of times for my branding projects, there's not, I can either put the location of the business or I could just delete that. And then if you didn't want to do 3 projects, another option is just having this say recent work, maybe branding projects, and then just picking 4 different images from 4 different projects and showcasing it like a collage instead of going further in depth to each project, just kind of giving like an overview, like mood board of some of your recent work. And then if you did that, I would just delete this page and this page. Here you just share a little bit about the investment and how important it is to invest in quality, and maybe feel like why you feel like you are worth the investment, as funny as that sounds. And then here you go into your pricing structures. So if you have set pricing and have 3 different packages, and this could be collection 1, collection 2, collection 3, like that. Here you would share a little bit about the package, and then here you do the items, and it's just like the table of contents where if you add, it'll add the line for you. So that's super easy. Here you put the amount, and then this is just like a disclaimer. So maybe if you're a branding photographer and do half up front, half at the end of the project, or if you're a wedding photographer and offer payment plans or something like that. If you do custom proposals, which is actually what I do, then I just delete 2 of these pages, and so I just leave 1. So I would just delete this, and then here I would put custom proposal, or I would put the business name for who I'm giving the proposal for. I would do the same thing here about the project, and then I would list everything that their custom quote includes here, and then maybe say something about I accept payments 50% up front and 50% at the end of the project. And that's basically what I do. It's the same layout, but it's just, you can use it as a proposal and not just as set packages and pricing. This is the page that I duplicated earlier, so delete that. And then here's a la carte items, and this is basically updated the same way. Same with these. You might have to bring this to the front. But basically this is a good way to show some of your additional products for your clients and get them thinking about other things they can hire you for. And oftentimes when I list these out, I have people add on different collateral items. Here you could put a if you have a specific fee that is kind of standard, like for me, maybe I could put my hourly fee, or for a wedding planner, you could put travel fees, a little blurb about that down there. And then these are the FAQs. I did 2 different layouts for them. So these are like short answers, and then these are longer answers. And so if you have a mixture of both, you could keep both of these pages, or if you have all long answers, you could do this page and then duplicate it. Or if you wanted to mix these 2 layouts, you could just simply delete this middle row. Command C is copy that, and then paste it up here, and then take time to make sure it's all aligned and all that good stuff. But yeah, you can customize it however you need. So those are the FAQs. And then next thing is the next step. So this, you just want to give really clear instructions to your client for how to book you. By this time, hopefully they're super excited to work with you, and basically it's as easy as sending you an email saying they're ready to book, and then maybe you can tell them a little bit about what your onboarding workflow looks like or something like that. Here you just have a thanks. You can get a little bit personal here because out of all the people they could have inquired with, they really resonated with you and your work. So just kind of take that to get a little personal and thank them. And just kind of the last first impression, if that makes sense. So those are all the pages. Some other things that we could go over are just the tools on the left side. So this is the selection tool, and it's what you're going to use most of the time just to grab things and to move things. You double click inside of it for the text, or you can use this T box and then click like that. If you want to add pictures and shapes, so if you wanted to kind of like make your own layout, if you wanted to add a page and make your own layout, you could put a shape like this. And then all you would do is select it and then file, place, and you could place your image and it would go inside this box. Besides that, over here you won't need too much. If you wanted to add in lines, there's this line tool. So you can just kind of add in a line, add a stroke here. It's a nice pink line. The only other thing that I would say is that if you are adding elements and want to make them go behind things, so let's just say this black thing is at the front, just to make it go behind things, again, we're going to do the object, the arrange, and send it back. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you how to upload some of those illustrations real quick. So you go to File, Place, just like you would an image, and then I'm going to find those doodles, and let's just say I want to add this. And so I could add this, and then I could add the picture here. Something like that. Just kind of adds a fun artsy element to it. A shortcut that might be helpful for you is what I just did, Shift W, and it makes things go full screen. And then besides that, we are just going to go over how to save it. So this template was made for web and to send through email. So we're going to show that first. So you go to File, Export, and then Adobe PDF Interactive. I'll save it to my desktop. Save. And then you make sure all pages are checked. And then export. If you want to save it for print, what you can do, you would go to File, Export, and Adobe PDF Print. And then you would save it the same way. But yeah, I think that's it. If you have any additional questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I will include it in the PDF. But yeah, if there's also a lot of really good YouTube tutorials on InDesign that probably do a much better job explaining things than I do. So feel free to kind of use that as a resource as well. But if you have anything you can't figure out, just shoot me an email. My email address will be inside